from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alignment Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I'm so honored and grateful to present to you these amazing women, the 20 co-authors of the upcoming book, Women Living in Alignment. They've shared personal stories of their journeys of getting into alignment for themselves, and they are doing that to help you, because certainly by hearing other people's stories, we all get some ideas about what we can do in our own lives. So I'm looking forward to you reading that book, and I'm really happy that they're getting to talk to you today and that you're here to listen. Today, we're going to be talking with Christie Szpyrka. I love her title, and I know you're here listening to this because you saw this, The Unexpected Source of Your Pain. Uncover what has been repressed and express what is needed to heal now. So we'll get started talking with Christie in a minute. First, I'm going to read a brief introduction of her so you get to know her a little bit. Christie Szpyrka is a holistic health practitioner whose path has evolved off of the massage table and into the world of coaching. Her diversified training allows her to provide a safe space for her clients to experience self-awareness in order to promote harmony and self-healing within the body. She is a firm believer that we can heal the world once we begin with ourselves. Her long-term goal is to open a healing center and school that targets modern Western medical practitioners and teach them holistic therapies to marry modern medicine with holistic and ancient knowledge. And Christie, I am so happy to talk with you today. How are you?
I'm very excited to be here today, Sue. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I love this, the unexpected source of pain, because I think there's a lot of people walking around with some kind of pain, either emotional pain, spiritual pain, physical pain. And so it'll be interesting to hear what you have to say about that. I know that you work with a lot of people as a healer. Can you tell us a little bit about how you help those people today?
Oh, I'd love to. So I currently work as a holistic health practitioner and holistic coach. And in my signature coaching program, Recreate Your Reality, I use my AAA healing method to help people heal, grow, and thrive. And I do this using an assortment of other modalities, including Reiki, tarot, astrology, and tapping.
That's great. I love that. And so, there's a lot of different modalities that are available to us. So I'll be interested to hear, really tell us now, why did you choose those? Like, what drew you to those specific modalities?
That's a good question. So through my own journey, I've used each of these tools to help me in some form or fashion. So I've gotten to know them on a really personal level, and I can see how they can be used to help people uncover what's going on in their life, right? There's no real good or bad. It's just what's working and what's not, and what can we do to change that?
Great. Wonderful. So you just pick whatever feels right for each client.
Yeah, whatever they're drawn to. And that's why I love having a variety of tools to choose, because there is no just one right recipe for anybody. Everything is complementary, and it's just a matter of finding what works for each person.
Yeah, that's great. So we know you used to be a massage therapist and that you changed. Now you're a holistic health coach. So how did that whole change come about?
It's been a journey for sure. I had been working as a massage therapist for about 5 or 6 years when my mother was diagnosed with a neurological disease called chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. And I'll give you $1 if you can say that 5 times fast. But it's part of the Parkinson's family, and it ultimately led to her being unable to speak or move. And so from day one in massage school, we were taught that repressed emotions will manifest as physical pain in our bodies. And I could see how that was the case with my mother, and how it evolved further into this neurological disease. And my working theory is that if we don't allow ourselves to feel, we don't allow ourselves to feel. And I think that's true for a lot of neurological diseases, right? And so I got to be really curious about this concept. And then when my mother passed, it really lit a fire within me to learn more about how to help people heal in the way that she wasn't able to, in a way that I wasn't able to help her. And I firmly believe that you have to go down the path that you want to take your clients down first. And so this led to me investing in myself personally and professionally, and it led me to coaching. And the more I started to learn about coaching, the more I started to realize, well, I've already been doing this with my clients all along, but now I had a name for it, I had a framework for it, and I could separate the massage from the coaching so that I could help people go on a deeper healing journey that a massage alone could not offer.
Hmm. That's wonderful. I love hearing that. We're talking about healing, and a lot of times when people are, in some sort of pain, or they, are feeling a dis-ease or something in their body, they're told that, hey, look, there's really nothing wrong with you. Even by the medical community, they say, we can't find anything wrong with you. It's all in your head. What would you say to these people?
You'd probably be surprised by my answer that yes, it's in your head, but that doesn't make it any less real. And that's where modern Western medicine kind of misses the mark. And I think that's very unfortunate. We discount people's experiences, right? We discount the reality of the situation because we can't find an explanation for it that doesn't come out of the books, right? And just because it's in your head doesn't make it any less real. You're still having that experience, right? And I think where a lot of this comes from when we are in moments of acute stress that can eventually become chronic stress for a lot of people, our body really just wants to focus on keeping us alive, right? Our breathing and our heartbeat. And those emotional responses can get in the way of that. So our body will compartmentalize emotional responses and store them in the body to be dealt with later because it still needs to be processed. But we get caught up in our day-to-day and we get caught up in the stress that continues to carry us on. We keep getting everything just, stuck. And what happens is the body will manifest physical pain to draw your attention to what's being stored that still needs to be processed. And those repressed emotions are like whiny children. And the more you ignore them, the louder they get. And once we can really get in touch with what's happening in our body and where that's coming from, we acknowledge what's happening, we can release a lot of that and let the pain will alleviate.
So you're saying that physical pain is caused by repressed emotions in many cases. So what are some of those situations that can cause those repressed emotions?
Well, I think the biggest one that a lot of people can really resonate with are dysfunctional relationships, right? And these relationships don't just have to be intimate. They can be with your family, your friends, coworkers is probably a really big one for a lot of people. Could be your neighbor across the street or the guy down at the corner store. And I really think that a lot of people are not taught how to properly handle dysfunctional relationships, right? It's just like, oh, he's a jerk. Just be the bigger person, move on, don't deal with it. And as a result, we start to really disempower ourselves. We disempower our intuition. And this can cause reverberating problems that include physical pain. And this brings to mind a client that I had. She came to me with some neck and shoulder pain, as most people commonly do. And I was really inspired to offer her a tarot card reading because tarot cards give us a visual representation of what's happening in the moment, right? They show us what's working, what's not, and give us some clues as to what we can do to fix that. And through the course of her reading, we could see that she had developed this habit of people pleasing. She was not able to speak her truth. And once we uncovered that for her, it was really interesting how the light bulb turned on and like she gave a voice to that pain that I need to speak up. And it shifted so drastically, and that created ripple effects throughout her life.
And so did her pain resolve?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, there was still more. It's a journey, right? It's not just going to go away in one shot. And this is what a lot of people in this day and age, we really want like that instant gratification. And that's just not possible, right? We really have to be willing to put in the work and keep coming back. We have to retrain our bodies, retrain our brains to exist in this new reality where we can live a pain-free life, let go of the identity that we've created. And once you put that work in and you retrain yourself to exist this way, then you can really move forward in a pain-free way.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I've experienced that with a lot of people myself in conversation at different types of, retreats and healing settings where we would go to try to, peel the onion and peel back the layers of the onion and figure that out, So people stuff their emotions. What would you say to somebody that is recognizing that I've been doing this maybe my whole life? I've been stuffing my emotions. I didn't set boundaries. I didn't speak my truth. What would you say to them? How do they get started to do that?
Yeah, I love the example that you said. I always say this too. It's like layers of an onion, right? You got to peel it back. And I guess the best way to get started is just to learn to listen to yourself, really learn to listen, to trust yourself, trust what your body is telling you. Don't let the doctors who say that it's all in your head, don't let that get in the way, right? Your experience is real, but you have to be really willing to make that change, and you have to really be willing to do the work it takes to get there. There's no easy answer, and it can be really hard to go through. It can be painful in a completely different way to kind of come to terms with, what you've done to create this situation for yourself. You really have to take responsibility for what your role in this is so that you can let it go and move forward. Because there's always hope. You just have to be willing to do the work.
Okay. Because what happens if we don't deal with these underlying issues and these repressed emotions? What is the thing that happens to our bodies?
Yeah. In worst case scenarios, in the example of my mother, it can evolve into other diseases beyond just pain, like Parkinson's, MS, autoimmune diseases can be a big part of that, right? If you don't trust yourself, your body doesn't trust itself, creating an autoimmune response. And it can be really unfortunate to see how people can devolve because they're not willing to face what needs to be uncovered, right? But once you give yourself that permission to release, you can unlock so much. And I've seen people who have MS diagnosis start to have alleviation of their symptoms just by tuning into their body and figuring out what's really going on in their life and what they're not dealing with, and uncovering that and letting it go.
That's great. And so as a holistic health coach, what do you recommend for people let's talk about questions. What questions would you have people ask themselves just to know if they're on the right path for themselves and if they're on that path to healing?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah, lots of great questions, Sue. I love
it. I try.
So the first question that people should ask themselves is, where am I feeling what I'm feeling? And really tune into that part of your body and ask yourself, once you've really just connect, take a deep breath, get quiet and get still and say, okay, neck pain, what is it that you want to tell me? And just being really open to hearing what your body has to tell you. It can feel really weird. It can be really unexpected. Just trust it. If it doesn't feel right, okay, maybe there's something else even deeper that you need to let yourself dive into. What are you avoiding that you don't want to hear?
I've heard things like, okay, I have, pain in my neck. So who is the pain in my neck, or what is the pain in my neck, or the pain in, that's a pain. And people say these words, right? They say, oh, she says pain in the neck, or pain in the butt, or whatever, people say these things, and then you get a literal pain. So that shows the power of words, I guess, right? And the things we need to tell ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. Just pay attention to the things that you're saying out loud. What are you saying about the things in your life? Because that's a really big part of it too, is what's going on in your life that you're just dealing with, right? Like those dysfunctional relationships that I talked about. You don't have to just deal with those. You can find proactive ways of handling them so that they don't become a burden on you. And again, that takes a lot of self-trust. And the easiest way to develop that self-trust is to stop, listen to your body, listen to the innate wisdom in your body that you may or may not have been ignoring, and really take that in and be willing to move forward with the answers that come up for you.
Yep. Absolutely. Right. Instead of repressing those answers too. So that's great. No, this has been terrific. I love this talk, Christy. This is great. Lots of great information from you. So thank you. So I know that there are people listening right now that will want to connect with you, learn more about you, and learn more from you. So where can they do that?
So I have my website is www.reachingbetteralternatives.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram under the handle Reaching Better Alternatives. And I also have a little free gift of a recording I call a body scan, and you can find that at rbaholistichealth.com. That's RBA as in Reaching Better Alternatives holistichealth.com.
It sounds wonderful. I'm looking forward to that body scan. I love doing things like that. And so thank you for that. I appreciate it. And Christy, thanks for being part of the whole project. It's been really a pleasure working with you. And I love your story in the book. I know people will be surprised by it and inspired by it. And so I'm looking forward to them reading it. And thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for your information that you share with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Sue. This has been such a wonderful opportunity and such a beautiful experience. I feel like I've learned and grown so much, and you've really helped me to stretch and grow and level up in a lot of ways. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, you are so welcome. It's our honor to do this, as I said. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for paying attention to your own life and those things that are going on for you. I know you're here because you are on a journey of getting more aligned with your own life. So the way that you can do that is to read this book, Women Living in Alignment, and you can buy that on launch day, which is November 2nd. And on launch day, we have a 99-cent Kindle promotion. So if you're into Kindle, that's a perfect day to buy that. Otherwise, the paperback is also available then. So buy that book. How you do that is you go to our website, womenlivinginalignment.com. We will guide you to your country's Amazon page so you can get that book directly, and then come back to our website and you'll be able to type in your Amazon receipt number and get lots of awesome gifts from our partners and authors. So do that. Launch day, November 2nd. It's a wonderful promotion and a wonderful way for you to up-level your own alignment with yourself, your soul purpose, everything that's going on. So thanks for being here. Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.